Welcome to Talk of the Monarchy. I'm your host, Ryan Nichols, and this is episode 2 with our guest, Ed Lucas. So, Ed, we've touched a bit on the background, how Golden Valley is where we are today. We're going to get into a little bit about the day-to-day, and I think we're probably going to have some interesting chats, being able to probably relate on quite a lot of these things. Before we get to that, when did you first realize that you weren't just a coach anymore? You're the boss, the only boss. So for a time, you could bounce ideas off your business partner and probably had to agree on things that were going to happen next. But at what point were you like, the boss, I am responsible for everything that happens, good and bad, in this space? Is there a time where you think back? Was it maybe a financial decision where you're like, oh, this is all me, and it was terrifying, or did you find it liberating as well?
Yeah, I guess it's a bit of everything. And I think those moments happened more in the sort of early stages of self-employment, which was still very much when we were in a business partnership. And it was just like, no one's coming to save you. Like, if you don't do this, no one else is going to do it. And it's like, it doesn't matter if you're tired. It doesn't matter if you've had a long day or whatever. Like, if you don't, go out and pick up toilet roll, then there's going to be an issue. The bathroom's not kept suitably clean. Like, no one's going to come and clean it for you. And like all those types of things. And I think it was actually in the day-to-day facility cleaning and maintenance stuff that really started to ring true. And it was like, no, nobody cares that I've been up since God knows what hour coaching CrossFit. Like, this place still needs to be clean, and like, or these bills still need to be paid. That kind of thing. So I think that was probably the stark realization that sticks out in my head.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. I think I naively thought that opening a CrossFit gym meant that I didn't have to pay a CrossFit membership. I'd be better off paying a CrossFit membership. Yeah, I'm going to get jacked, and I'm going to train with my mates all day.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that the first year of Monarch was the least amount I trained. I probably, at the end of that time, was the worst shape I'd ever been in, or was close to, because I wasn't training. I was exhausted. I was getting up at 5 a.m. I wasn't coaching at the start. I was learning. So I was shadowing someone, and then I was going to work, and then I was coming home and shadowing again until I got to that point, and that lasted for quite a while. And then obviously the shadowing just turns into coaching and taking one of the class, and Ryan and Verity were great from a hand-holding point of view for getting me ready, but burnt out, definitely got burnt out.
Do you know what I think is amazing as well, just to segue from that point very briefly, is that although they don't have to do the like business ownership stuff, people who coach CrossFit part-time in the evenings and the mornings around full-time gigs, yourself included, are like superheroes to me.
Yeah.
Just like going and doing a 9 to 5 and maybe training in the morning beforehand and then coaching in the evening, or coaching in the morning and then training in the evening, and doing this sort of what must it end up being 14, 15, 16 hour day. That is
And do you know what's mad? So I do it because I'm in the place. We're really lucky. Our coaching team are amazing, and some in particular, they're coming in, they've worked all day, tough jobs. They're coaching to the last class, and I've been there and I've watched them go and fill the mop bucket up and wipe up all the chalk. And then I've had full-time members of staff who've been there all day that wouldn't even do that. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, shout out to those guys. I think staffing is the difference between this job's really hard, but if you get your staff right, it can be an absolute game changer. We are really, really lucky that the coaching staff we have really care. They've gone through self-development by putting themselves through their L2s and stuff like that, or British weightlifting and things along those lines. A little bit of encouragement from us, but mainly them wanting to be better. How does what does your gym look like in terms of coaches? Do you get a lot of help? Is Claire a coach?
She's not, no, but she does help with a lot of behind the scenes. Particularly, like, I'm really, really bad with calendars and scheduling and that type of stuff. So Claire, thank you so much. Has been organizing the coaching schedule for us for the last few months, and it's been such a huge help. And I'm sure that anyone who coaches at my gym would agree with me that it's been a major, major success.
How many coaches are there?
There's 10 of us in total.
Oh, mate, that's awesome.
I am the only full-time.
Yep.
We've got Paddy on a couple of days a week, and then aside from him at the moment, we've got sort of everybody doing like part-time hours around other full-time gigs. All the coaches have previously been members at the gym, or have come through the membership.
I'm all about that. I think it works great.
It does work great, and I think the model I have at the moment is working, and some of the the coaches I have on my team are extremely helpful. They care a lot. I really enjoyed the company of all of them. And I know that they're doing a great job. And I know that the members at the gym really enjoyed their classes and everything as well. Are there drawbacks to having an entire team of part-timers?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
But I am never gonna like take for granted what they've done for me, because they've dug me out of an absolute hole in the past in terms of my own schedule and everything. And they're part of making the gym what it is today.
I think your members also get a nice mixture of flavors,
Styles
personalities,
and
and styles. So I think that's a good thing. I think we've got eight coaches now, with 6 of them being part-time. I think it works great. They've all got their own quirks, personalities, things they're good at. But overall, if you looked at the group as a collective,
Playlists.
Yeah, playlist, definitely. But I think I think if we looked at that as just a bubble, a group of people, you'd struggle to find like a glaring weakness. So I'm all for it. You mentioned that model works for you as a business in terms of previous members, and I'm sure you've taken them through some type of mentorship to make sure that they do want to do their L1 and then dive into that coaching aspect. Did you stumble across that? Did it naturally happen, or was it something you were directed towards?
Development process.
Yeah. And how that works.
It's grown, it's developed from flying by the seat of my pants at first. Because to give you the background, when our business partnership ended, Jack and another coach at the time both left. Time of transition seemed like the right time, whatever it might be. So it was me and one other coach, and then a difference of opinion led to that coach leaving as well.
I remember the time.
So I was coaching every class, and that was from first class 5:30 in the morning, last class finishing at 7:30 at night, and it was 8 classes a day.
And at the time, you were traveling from Calm.
Yeah,
which is an hour's
drive. Yeah. So 3:30 alarm, home at like 9,
and falling asleep by 9:30
and repeat. Actually, one of my best mates' mum lives just down the road from the old gym, and she put me up in an annex for a couple months. So I stayed like less than a mile away from the gym.
Change your expect.
Yeah, I'd go back and have a nap in the afternoon, and then go back again and sleep at night. But it wasn't sustainable. Couldn't have done it for much longer. I did it for about 3 months at that clip, I think. And then who were the firsts? Jack, Sally, and James, who all I basically put the word out and said, is anyone interested in being like, taking a step and getting into coaching? And I think all of them, at least a percentage of their interest was around just wanting to help.
Yeah, of course.
Wanting to make sure that the gym didn't go away and all that kind of thing. So I'm so grateful to those guys. So the coaching development process at that point was not very polished. And it was, we're going to fucking figure it out as we go. And it worked. Obviously if there'd been a framework laid out and all that kind of thing, it might have been a bit smoother, but they're all good at what they do, and they all bring their own.
Are those originals? Are they OG coaches? Are they still in the 10? Yeah, I love that.
James does a Monday morning, 6 a.m., 7 a.m. Sally does a Tuesday evening. Jack does a Wednesday evening. They're great. Really, really owe a huge amount of gratitude to those guys.
No, I think it, like I said, what got us onto that. If you get the staff in right, then it makes a really tough job rewarding either way. It makes a really tough job a little bit easier. And like you said, no one's coaching the evening for the money. No, they're not. That they're doing it because they enjoy an environment that they're in. They want to help. There can be multiple reasons, but it's never about the hourly rate.
It's not the type of job you get into for financial gain.
No, it definitely isn't. Definitely.
I had an interesting conversation with somebody recently who said to me that coaches will do it for one of 3 reasons. One is money. For some, it might be the thing. The other one is a love of coaching, and the third one is a love of status.
Yes, couldn't agree more.
And I thought, cool, nailed it.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Mine is definitely love of coaching. And then I reckon I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I don't think I'm going to upset him, but I reckon Ryan White might have started his coaching from a status point of view. I think he was a pretty good CrossFitter. But at the time, Savita's had a lot of good CrossFitters. And then I think he maybe tried to step into the coaching to, when you're coaching, it does make you a better CrossFitter, in my opinion.
For sure.
So I think there would have been a mixture of like trying to
just through practice.
exactly. But I think also from a status point of view, that might be something that resonates with him. His would have definitely have changed and evolved. But those are three pretty good reasons. Yeah. One of them would have got you in there, and that could easily change all three.
Mine was money. At the time, I wasn't making a lot of money, and my CrossFit membership was expensive. I knew that coaches got a free membership, so one of the things that pulled me towards it was like, great, I could do that a couple of nights a week, get a free membership for it, and then that gives me, I can just go full bore into my own training.
Yeah, nice.
So I guess it was from a love of, there are lots of other reasons why I got into coaching, but like that was one of the things that sort of piqued my interest.
What was the thing that made you, that's the thing that made you take the plunge?
Yeah.
And like I said, you add to it, that can evolve, that can change, and any of those three things could change at any point. I've just mentioned Civitas, which was a gym that we both trained at. I think you've trained, I was trying to think of some of the affiliates you've trained at. So I know you've trained at Swindon, SW1. You've done a couple of sessions at my gym.
Yep.
Civitas, Calm. How many am I missing? Are there any others?
CrossFit Avon in Bristol.
Yeah.
CrossFit Cirencester.
Yeah, you mentioned them.
Started. And Akela, because I was a member there for a little while as well. So I think that's, and if you include mine, that's 9.
So that's 9 affiliates. So that's 9 different experiences. You would have seen good and bad in all of those. What was there something? Or are there things that you experience, and you don't need to say the gyms, obviously, but are there things that you've experienced by being a member in other spaces where you're like, I definitely wouldn't do that, or that's exactly how I want? Can you pinpoint anything where well, maybe we'll stick to the positive. Can you pinpoint something where you're like, I knew from the way that I was treated, or the things that I saw in a class, or something along those lines, that I knew that I would bring that to my own affiliate or my own space? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You've used Kieran as an example. He's come over to you at the very end of your 30 days with him and just said, one bit of advice, friend to a friend, always leave that door open. And before he said that, you would have seen it. You might not have known that you'd seen it, but you would have experienced it with people coming and going. But are there any other things where you're like, yeah, I remember seeing this, or yeah, is there anything else there? And like I said, we'll stick to the positives.
That's a great question.
It's a tough question as well.
It is a really tough question.
So I apologise for chucking it in.
There's loads, and a lot of it is completely subjective. So like something that I think is really positive is great programming.
Yep.
I think that's like the gyms that I've trained at that have really, like, where I've achieved the highest levels of fitness for me, and also had the highest like enjoyment and felt like I've got the most value, have been the ones where the programming is money. And the two that stick out, with the exception of my own, for me, there are Civitas and Swindon.
Yeah.
Like had a fantastic experience. Like all the workouts were fun, challenging, sometimes a bit mental.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? You'll have to forgive me because the feedback I can give in this question relating to your gym is obviously very limited.
Yeah.
I went to one class.
Yeah.
I went to some open gyms.
Yeah, so, mate. No. So
black walls though.
Yeah, they're really black. No, I mean, you were obviously working crazy hours doing the journeys. I think you bobbed over a couple of times. So wasn't looking for a soundbite for us guys, but I think it's really important. Quick question then. So the programming was the thing that got you your fittest, your strongest, and blah blah blah, or was it the environment? Because
and the coaching.
Yeah. Does the programming matter that much?
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you say that?
Because if I see a workout and I go, that's dumb, I'm not going to give it my all.
Would you have known it was dumb back then?
Yeah.
Fine.
It might be subjective. I might have been wrong.
Yeah.
But if I didn't look at it and go, yeah, I wasn't going to, I wasn't going to give it my all.
Yeah, fine. So you've spoken about, and this is, we're kind of moving away, but I just want to touch on it. You've spoken about in your first space, it was a tiny little gym. You had classes of 8 to 10. And you would have to adapt the workouts and do a lot of the programming yourself based on space, which makes perfect sense. So with that, were there some limitations to the programming you could offer the members? Because you couldn't have 5 different barbells out or 6 different barbells out.
Still can't.
Yeah. No. So with that, did you think your members noticed, or did you overcompensate for maybe doing a lot of A and B or partner workouts with making it such a good atmosphere with loads of energy? Were there ways that you could compensate for not having the space at the start? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I did my best.
Yeah, cool.
I think you could look at that as like a cross section of any CrossFit gym. You'd have people who would understand the limitations, and you would have people who wouldn't have a clue, and they would just think this is what CrossFit is because they've never experienced it from anywhere else. They've never seen videos of it being done anywhere else or anything like that. So some people would be like, oh yeah, we don't really do workouts with barbells in them. Yeah, because we haven't got the room to. It's like, oh yeah, we do quite a lot of one-on, one-off intervals. Yeah, and they'll get that. And then for other people, it's like, this is great, or this is shit, and whatever.
If you had a member come to you now and say, I feel like the program is shit, boring,
say this is not the gym for you.
Yeah. So would it be that honest? Yeah, fine.
Let me help you find the right one.
Yeah, and I think we've had conversations before where you might have had those conversations, and they can be difficult and challenging. We've had similar.
I get a little sensitive about programming feedback as well. That's my favorite bit of the job.
Yeah,
and like there have been times where I think like, would it be better if I just outsourced it? And
which you said you've done at some point.
Yeah. And like, you get your pre-baked lesson plans and everything sorted. And like, that's however many hours a week just taken off my plate that I could spend otherwise doing other things. But I love doing it. And I don't think anyone could program for my space in the way that I can, like with the knowledge of the equipment that I've got and the knowledge of the amount of space and the average member and what the capabilities might be. And, perhaps programming loads that will push people, but not be unachievable and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, if, I get a little sensitive about feedback on it. If I find that feedback to be subjective and unsolicited. If I think it's grounded in something like...
So they might have come to you and go, Ed, I've found like the last 2 weeks have been a bit the same, the boring. And they've gone, these workouts are kind of similar. Then you might go, maybe it's something you missed or like you didn't mean to be as repetitive. Something that's understandable. So
we used to have a little sign above the bin in the old gym that said programming suggestions.
Nice. Yeah, I like it.
But it's just very tongue-in-cheek.
This is for HR complaint. I love that. So I'm going to talk to you about something I saw, and then I shared a comment on it on socials the other day, and then it's going to relate slightly to the best hour guys, because I've picked your brains loads on it. So I saw something from, who's the little guy?
Jason Ackerman.
So from Jason, and it said,
I bet he's not going to be listening to this.
No, he's not.
but if he were, and I might just send it to him, just so he can hear you say, the little guy.
Yeah, I didn't mean to offend. So he put something along the lines of capping class numbers is sort of like a coaching weakness, and you should be getting as many people in a class as possible. I wrote a couple of sentences saying that was BS.
I saw your post.
Yeah. So, and I understand that these guys, they need to stay relevant. So they need to post a lot, and they need people to be clicking, and lots of what they do share, I completely agree with. I think it's the first time I've ever probably felt strongly enough that I've put my own 2 pence worth and then reposted. But like a comment like that, how like you do cap your classes, I cap my classes. What are your thoughts on what he's posted, for example?
I see both sides. If I could run classes without a cap, like one of the things with the best hour course is that things don't necessarily translate the same in the UK as they do in the US. And I would love to know what the average square footage of a CrossFit gym in the US is compared to in the UK. Because if we're talking about like 10,000 square foot plus spaces, then like, don't have a cap. Like if you've got enough room for 50 people to come in and train at the same time, and you've got 50 barbells, 50 spots on the rig, whatever it might be, then have at it.
So you've engaged with these guys though. You've done like the mentorship program. Yeah, awesome.
Amazing.
And I know you're going to say positive things, but that's amazing. So when they were encouraging you to make certain steps and changes in your box, were you able to say this doesn't translate, or were they like, no, this does translate to everyone? Like, was that difficult? Where you're like, we don't really do that here in terms of.
There's a really good example for this.
Yeah, go on.
One is they suggested that instead of billing monthly, you bill every 4 weeks.
Okay.
Because then you get an extra 2 billing cycles.
Yeah.
And like, I get it. Like, it's pretty simple maths. If you do 2 more billing cycles a year, you're going to make more money. Like, how many places in the UK would, like any subscription service, I've never come across one that's not Netflix. I'd just be like, that would not go down well. Don't get me wrong. I would love to generate more revenue.
Give me the cash.
But that's just not going to fly. The way it works over here is people line up their monthly payments according to like just after when they get paid from their job. And like that's just how it is, and that's not the status quo.
Did you get any pushback? Or was it
a little? Yeah, they try and coach you on it essentially.
Of course,
and I was just like, obviously you although you've signed up to their course and you're following their mentorship program and everything like that, it is essentially up to you how much of it.
Of course it is. Your business.
Yeah, exactly. So, we went back and forth a couple of times, but in the end, it was just like, that isn't going to work for me. So let's move on. Next question.
Yeah. Let's go on. And you've said positive things about the program that you went through with them. Are there any things in particular that jump out where you're like, if I could tell every affiliate owner to do X, it would be this? Is there a bit of advice? If there's someone sat there listening, watching today, and they're thinking about opening their own box, maybe they don't need to go full into the best hour, or that's something to go in a few months' time, or whatever. Is there something that stands out where you're like, if I could tell everyone I know and like in the affiliate space that they should do this, is there a piece of advice or a bit of the course that you thought was particularly helpful?
Yeah. Policies.
Okay.
Cancellation policy, pause policy, all that type of stuff.
Make it clear and understood.
Everyone knows where to find it.
Yeah.
All that type of stuff. They had me create this document called a transparency sheet, where I haven't been doing it recently because the new app that we've moved to does a better job of signposting to these things. But essentially what you would do is you would send a document to every new person that signed up to the gym, and it would be like, I understand that if I want to cancel my membership, I have to give 30 days notice. Click yes if you understand. I understand that if I want to cancel my membership, I go to goldenvalleycrossfit.com/cancel your membership. And it's like everything you need to know about.
Hidden under loads of T's and C's, like one line.
Read it.
Next. One line. Yeah.
So if somebody says, I want to cancel my membership, and you say, cool, I'll start your 30 days notice. And then they say, I didn't know I had to, well, you signed this document. And like that's a good example of like something that's really easy to put together, quite actionable. But they're really big on systems, and the course.
Have they helped you be more organized? I know you mentioned Claire's been taking some scheduling off your hands, and not necessarily something that you would jump to and be like, this is my favorite thing to do. But with that transparency document and the way in which they were, suggested integration of systems, has it made your business be like smoother, better operated?
Yeah, for
Are
sure.
they things that you implemented and then they slowly stopped? Were there things where you're like, I implemented X and 80% of them are still in?
Yes, I would say 70% still do them. 30% kind of leave them by the wayside because we've moved to a new app and it has fixed a few of the things, and some of the things might feel a little bit less relevant and all that kind of stuff. Oh my God, I've got really bad cramp. And also just their podcasts and the other educational material around the course has been like one of the biggest sources of like. Yeah,
mate, this is why Talk of the Monarchy is here, right? Talk of the Monarchy is here because they sent an email through to our info box, because we use their, we sign up to their monthly where you can watch their little 30-minute videos and bits and pieces. I don't use it as much as I should, but I know Ryan's used it a lot in the past, and so does Verity. And we are heavily influenced by what those guys do. But I jumped on a webinar, I had a little bit of time. It was 45 minutes. It was with the other guy who's not little. And he was saying, look,
he was my mentor.
Amazing, right? So we jumped on. He basically said, "Look, your members are not only interested in what goes on behind the scene." He said, "But people are interested in seeing someone they know in a real training, but they're also want to know a little bit about you guys as coaches and individuals, a bit behind the scenes. How can you show all of the personality of the business, right?
Tell the story."
Yeah. So this is how we got to this today.
Cool. Congratulations.
Yeah, so I think it's cool that there's loads of positives, and I was using Jason as just a bit of a segue into our next piece, and it just happened to be that something at the weekend I didn't agree with, and we were talking about programming, so that was why I used them. I remember one of the things you saying to me, and correct me if I am wrong, and I apologize if so, is that you with the Best Hour guys, you could video a class of you coaching, and they were sending it to one of their level 3 or 4 coaches, and they would give you feedback.
Yeah, it was ruthless.
To say, 1, did you do it? And 2, how was it?
Ruthless. Yeah. Ruthless. But so valuable. I wouldn't be the coach I am today without all the stuff that I've learned from those guys. That said, there's lots of different ways to get this, to learn how, like, simultaneously, the best and worst thing about the CrossFit affiliation model is that you are free to give your gym its own flavor. That means most of them are great. Some of them are shit. But what it also means is that there's no one way to skin the cat, and their way works most of the time. But there's plenty of other ways that work most of the time. And I have probably moved away from a bit from the way that they teach you to coach, which is that very trad CrossFit, one workout a day, loads and loads of progressions, like super hard on points of performance, all that kind of stuff, to just like, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
Just like maybe focus a little bit more on the workout being the star of the show, which is something I've learned a lot about from listening to, what's it called? Coffee Pods and Watts.
Okay,
He's got his affiliate series that he does with
I've seen it shared online.
Johnny Davies, JR Howell, Jamie Walton, those guys. I've been listening to that a lot lately. And they're big on the like, doesn't have to be perfect. Like obviously people need to be safe, need to be coached as much as possible, but just like it needs to be.
So that's what I was going to say. Yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect, but are they enjoying it? So I want everyone to move well. I want everyone to be safe. And of course we coach everything the CrossFit way. It's the only way I know. You know what I mean? I don't come from a British weightlifting background. I don't come from a gymnast background. I did my level 1 and my level 2. So I coached the way in which I was taught and obviously sort of mentored by Ryan and Verity. But I am big on, is everyone having fun? Is there lots of energy? Have I engaged with everybody? Does everybody feel seen? Does everyone want to come back? Those are the things that I'm thinking about. So those are the things that I think about as I'm walking into my gym. Like, right, game face. This is how I want, this is how I would want to feel. This is how I want everyone to feel when they leave. And I think that that's really, really, really fucking important.
Yeah, for sure. And there's, and you can quantify those things. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Greet everybody by name, minimum 3 interactions per class, like all bang, bang, bang.
When am I going to see you again?
Yeah.
Say that every day.
Yeah, for sure.
In tomorrow.
Yeah. And it's like, it's not false either.
No. And it genuinely isn't. It genuinely isn't. I want to see that person again, but I want to train with them. Do you know what I mean? And we mentioned earlier on, I jump in most of our classes. We introduced a committed club back in August. So 12 classes registered, or 12 attendances with scores registered to encourage people to use the tracking side of the apps that we pay hundreds of pounds for. And then you go into a prize draw of names. One name comes out and then we give some prizes.
What kind of prizes do you give?
Wow. So August was a £50 LSKD voucher.
Cool.
And I actually, at the end of this, guys, I have a gift for all you viewers from LSKD. I'm going to get Ed to remind me. So £50 voucher. Yeah, no pressure, Ed. which was really cool. Last month, we gave like a 12-pack of Tenzing and a membership.
Okay.
Free of charge.
Yeah. Month. Nice.
Yeah, it's cool, right?
Yeah,
just for tracking your scores and going from there. This month, I think they have a personalised bottle like this.
Sick.
Yeah. So they get the name on. I think it might have our logo on, but has their name on.
Nice.
Not quite sure what the next one is, but we were noticing that people weren't tracking, but they would possibly moan that they weren't progressing. And it's like, okay, I'm going to tell you about your first class where you led on the floor and couldn't breathe and you were using a 5. And now you're telling me that you haven't got any fitter or any stronger. You've just done a workout in 6 minutes and that's a 22.5, right? But you'd know this if you tracked. So we were getting like, not feedback, but we were noticing it. Does that make sense? So we thought, right, how can we get people to track more and understand that you should, when we're programming a back squat, our app tells you what your percentage is when we put the percentage in. You shouldn't have to get your phone out and do a calculator of a 1RM you think you might have got in a gym 5 years ago. Just do the one that you got 3 months ago and we can go from there. So that was the reason we encouraged it. I think we had like 40 odd people in August. We had like 65. We didn't order enough badges, so we give a badge for each one. We didn't have enough badges for the last one. So I think Ryan had to order a couple more badges for the last one.
So what is Committed Club tied to recording your performance in a workout rather than class attendance?
You need to attend, and so I need to check you in. But for that to count, you need to log a score.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because ours is just attendance at the moment. But I guarantee you from next month onward, it is going to be workout.
Yeah, and in our hallway now, which you might have seen if you've seen us on our socials, we've got boards up. It says new member, 25 classes, 50, 100, and it always goes down to 1,000. We've got their pictures. You can move your picture along. We let you know as you move. We put the Committed Club numbers on. So we put everyone's name on there. So I think Murph did 38 classes, machine, last month. And then we even put the people who did it. I know, he's on it. To be fair, he's motivated. let's get into good habits. So encourage it whilst it's here, right? It will be December soon and no one will want to go out of the house. But then we also put the guys who did 11 classes. So you could you're only one away and you could have got yourself in the bundle. But
just think one more.
Exactly. But no, it's gone down really well. And I think that might have been maybe one of the best hour guys. One of those.
Actually a built-in feature in push press as well, which is really, really.
Is that who you use now?
Yeah.
No.
So I've got my phone on me, but
of course.
you get like a progress bar in the app. So
cool.
I know also ours is 15 classes, and when you get to 10, you'll get like a ping saying just 5 to go.
That's good. Well, we might have to. We've used Team Up and Boxmate. There's nothing wrong with either of those, but it's worthwhile.
Yeah.
We thought about push press, but it would only let you add credit card details, not direct debit. It was when it first came out. It's very American, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they must have changed.
But I think where it says credit card, you can just put a debit card in there, and it takes an automatic card payment.
Well, we jumped on a call with them, and they told us at the time it was when we were first. Yeah, that's fine. No problems.
What I can tell you is from moving from Wodify to push press is that they're both equally great and equally shit for different reasons.
Yeah, you're never going to get a perfect system. Yeah, fine. Love it. So in terms of, you've done the best hour, you've obviously been at a lot of gyms. We've spoken about the good, the bad, and the ugly, what those gyms are. How would you say, or how would you describe the current culture in your gym? Is it as you would expect it, as you wanted it? Is it exactly how you anticipated it to be? Is it sometimes difficult? Do you get any pushback from I feel like culture's set from the top, and your coaches are sort of representations of it, but you do get people that don't necessarily fit. What's the culture like currently at Golden Valley?
I think culture is, I like to think that culture is set from the top as well, but I think what culture actually is what happens when I'm not there.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
And I think it's great. 9 times out of 10, I think the vibes are good in the classes. Everyone's making progress. Everyone's having fun. We don't have any social issues or anything like that. There doesn't seem to be any drama, which
that's rare.
I'm very proud of that. Yeah. One thing that I'd probably let slide a bit over the last couple of years was just allowing this, and we've been talking about this in our community, and we use Discord as like a chat room and by emails and in conversation and everything, is something that I think is really important about training CrossFit and about the gym being the right environment and the right culture that I want it to be, is that everybody is there to maximize their opportunities for.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean maximum intensity, smash your head into a wall every day. What it does mean is do your best with what you have available to you. And there have been a few instances where that has not been happening. Social elements, which I understand are very important to a lot of people, have taken over or interrupted or perhaps hampered the running of a top quality CrossFit class.
Yeah. So I think I know where you're going with it. Someone's coming to the gym, not because they actually were that bothered about working out and bettering themselves, more just to see their mate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I understand that.
You are right, it's important. But if someone is coming in and potentially being disruptive, or they're having a bit of a neggy attitude, and that is bringing the class down, then you don't really want it there. They can go and have if you want to go and have a moan, do it over a coffee or a glass of wine across the road, or done the pub or something like that. I would much prefer, I think we've had a few instances in the gym where people have thought that not trying was cool. Or I don't log my score because I just don't care what I get. And I would just be like, why would you not track? I don't understand. Why you wouldn't blindly save or blindly spend. It was almost felt like it, when I heard it, or I've seen it, I just think, you're actually a grown up, but you're acting like what I'd expect like a 14-year-old to behave like, in terms of come on, you're here, you may as well train your hardest. I get it if you're injured or tired, that's fine. It's not me.
Your hardest is different depending on the day.
Definitely. Yeah, absolutely. But I see where you are with things like that. It's tough, but you are right. The social side is very important.
Yeah. Everybody's like us. Not everybody's like, I am going to send.
Yeah.
I'm going to do as much. I'm going to lift as much, whatever it might be, for whatever reason. And that's okay. I still think the way I've realized that I want to word it is that I still think everybody should do their best with what they have available to them.
No, mate, I agree with you. And one thing I will say is I've scaled a lot more workouts this year than I ever have. And that has just been so I can
Is that around your broken hand or around
yeah, I've had a few the niggles this year, but do you know what it's sometimes it's just been, it's got to Thursday evening and I've done a couple of double sessions and work's been intense, and then, I've coached and I'm just like, I want to train. It's really important. I do. But for me to enjoy this session, I need to use a 15 rather than 22 and a half. And I need to, or whatever. So, and with that, it's been a lot. I wouldn't have done that 3 years ago. I would have just come in, picked up a 22 and a half or 25 or just round, and then been ruined for Friday and Saturday. Whereas it's like, I've definitely been, it's been a lot easier for me, probably with knowledge and being a gym owner, to be like, I want to be here every day this week. I want to see everyone every day and just scale it back a bit.
Did you feel pressure to be the fittest person in the room?
As an affiliate, as a gym owner, or just back when I used to train as just a member?
Both.
I think when I was training at Civitas, it was really a competitive environment that was actively encouraged to be competitive.
Awesome, isn't it?
It was great. Yeah. With that, I enjoyed it, but I was smashing myself. Yeah. But I did enjoy it. As an affiliate owner, I see it as a responsibility to be competitive. But, I'm no spring chicken anymore, mate. There's certain things that I'm good at, certain things that I'm not great at. Obviously, one of those is walking on my hands. But no, I suppose there is an element of pressure. We've got some really good athletes. Some of our girls are fantastic. We've got some guys coming through at the moment that are really, really strong, and everyone's got something that they gravitate, some more towards the barbell than they do, so maybe the gymnastics. Yeah, absolutely. But no, I try my best to be as all round as I can. I really love competing with I love competing with Rye and against Rye, and my friend Hibbard, he's another one who's come on leaps and bounds. So I love competing with him at the moment. And there was a bench workout yesterday, which was fun because I knew me and him would be very close. There's a assault bike later on for max calories in a minute, and I know he's probably going to beat me on that, but I'm going to try. So yeah, that's I always, that having my eye on someone like you do in a gym, that doesn't change now that I own one. It's still my way of pushing myself. I'm not very good at training by myself, so I always gravitate towards a class. I've done a little bit of programming, and I will start again in January, but it's short, sharp sessions just to refine some of the skills that I'm not maybe great at. We've touched on training. We've touched on culture. In terms of your own training, do you struggle to get that in? Do you jump into a class? Are you someone that's always gone down the route of an individual training program? And then a next question on top of that, is it hard to wear all the hats that you do and get your training in and not feel burnt out?
Yeah. I've never really, there have been a few times in my life where I've done individualized programming.
Yeah.
It's been really successful, but over the last, 10 or 11 years, 95%, 98% of the training that I've done has been CrossFit classes.
Same.
And I've just followed whatever the program is at the gym.
Same.
And just got pretty fit by doing it, which is awesome.
And strong. You're a strong guy too. So
thank you.
Don't take that.
Where I think I'm doing a bit of individualized programming at the moment because this coming year I will age up into the Masters 35 to 39 category.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to be 34 during the Open, but because I'll be 35 by the time the CrossFit Games rolls round, so I'm going to be like the youngest master in the world.
Nice. So you better finish first.
So there's never going to be a better time than to have like a proper poke at putting my best foot forward. And I finished top 10% in the Open last year just off doing the programming that I write for my gym.
Yeah, amazing.
And I'm just, I guess, doing what I'm looking to do individually to progress myself a little bit more is spend a bit more time targeting some weaknesses. And like selfishly in the past where I've had things that I really want to work on, I just program them for the gym.
Yeah, fine.
But I can't put ring muscle ups and handstand walks and handstand push-ups and like those sort of like skills that I really need to sharpen up in twice a week without people starting to ask questions. So I'm going to do a little bit of work on those. And the gym program's going to remain sort of, constantly varied.
Yeah.
Intention will be like 3 or 4 classes a week plus some skills on top thing. I think it's important to be seen to take your mind.
Mate, 100%. You've mentioned it is tough wearing all the hats I'm training.
Oh yeah.
When you do hit a slump, low energy, or maybe everything is going good in terms of the business going great, but your own training isn't great, or vice versa. When you do hit a little slump, is there a go-to way to get yourself out? Is it
CrossFit class.
fine?
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when I'm really motivated and when things are like right now, I've just been on holiday like a couple of weeks ago, come back super motivated. Like the food tracking is precise. I've got the motivation to train by myself, even when it's cold and even when I don't want to. But when that post-holiday glow kind of wears off, it's a bit like sickness, wellness, fitness continuum. Do you know what I mean? Like if I'm at fitness at the moment with all that motivation, I'll fall back to wellness by doing 4 to 6 CrossFit classes a week. And it's just, you've got that support network. It clicked for me 11 years ago in a way that a fitness program never has before, and it just continues to do so.
Yeah, love that. Nice. Ed, we're going to wrap it up there. Cool. That is the end of episode 2. Thank you very much for everyone that tuned in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you next week for our final episode with Ed. Thank you very much.